has been proud to serve Rapid City and Spearfish with quality products and customer service that you can trust. In 2000, Connect joined the Meade Lumber family, and now they're taking the next step into their journey. Connect Home Center is becoming Meade Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name from design to finish. Meade Lumber is here for you, as they've always been. MeadeLumber.com.
Step into Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort during their $120,000 Players Paycheck giveaway. You could win a prize package every 30 minutes on Friday and Saturday nights. Then, during the grand prize drawing on Saturday, November 1st, someone will win a $26,000 Players Paycheck. Your choice of $500 cash and promo play every week for a year, or a one-time payment of $10,000 in cash. The $120,000 Players Paycheck, only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank and Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Here's what you need to know.
Still waiting on baseball in Detroit as the Mariners and Tigers have been delayed in Game 3 of their American League Divisional Series. The game was to be seen on Fox Sports 1. They're reporting right now that a game time could start at around 7:30 Eastern time. Now at 8 o'clock Eastern time on Fox Sports 1, it's going to be the Blue Jays and Yankees from the Bronx in their Game 3. So that means the Mariners and Tigers will shift to Fox Sports 2 if it gets underway. It can also be seen on the Fox Sports app. MLB Network also expected to carry the game. Cincinnati Bengals have acquired quarterback Joe Flacco in a trade with the Browns. Browns get a fifth-rounder while sending Flacco and a sixth to Cincinnati. The Bengals then released veteran quarterback Brett Rippon. Chargers acquired Ravens outside linebacker Odafe Owe and sent safety Aloha Gilman to Baltimore as part of the deal. The NHL's regular season is underway. Panthers on top of the Blackhawks right now, 2-1, playing late in the first period. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, we're back and ready. Glad you're here on a Tuesday. How you doing? The Nate Brown Show is live. Fox Sports Radio. Welcome in. Let's get going tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show back and ready from high school to college to the pros. We'll try and cover it all. Good stuff yesterday, and we'll make it count tonight. Some great guests across the board tonight. Some guys we haven't had on in quite some time. Let's get to it. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Radio and also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch us live on X. You call it Twitter. We call it X. At Nate Brown Show on X. Also on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe to the channel if you're a YouTube person. Yes, you're under 25. You're under 20. I mean, what is the... No, we all can do YouTube. I know that. Watch us there. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Also on Midwest Sports Plus, the new high school sports app. We're streaming live. Off and running on a Tuesday. We are live with great guests here. Let's look at it. Mike DeCourcy is going to join us tonight. Longtime sporting news columnist. He's on Fox Sports and the Big Ten Network. Mike DeCourcy is in tonight. He wrote a big story on the NCAA and what should really happen when it comes to the future of college sports and NCAA governance. You've seen these commercials, right? Have you been watching sports this year and you've seen these college commercials which says the end of college sports could be near if Congress, if we don't do something, the end of Olympic sports could be near. These are funded by a big booster at Texas Tech, and he's trying to say college sports' future hangs in the balance if we don't get some guidance and some Congress stepping in. Mike DeCourcy has his read on this whole scene. He's covered college sports a long time. So I've got him tonight. DeCourcy's in from the Sporting News. We will go to Gary Sharp, live from Omaha, 1620 The Zone. He's in talking Huskers and a big high school sports story out of Nebraska today. We'll get to that with Gary Sharp from 1620 The Zone. Also to Jake Shapiro. He's in Denver, covers the Broncos, denversports.com. Jake Shapiro live tonight. And Chris Denker, former D1 basketball coach, now pro basketball scout and youth travel basketball club manager. We got it all covered with Chris Denker. Coming up, he's going to talk about this new tournament idea. If you guys missed this last week on a Sleepy Thursday, there's this proposal that's gaining steam about adding teams to the NCAA tournament. 76 would be the number, and I'm more interested in what it would do to the Summit League champion, because it sounds like they would play in the first round of 12, like the play-in round of 12 every year. Chris Denker has some connections to mid-major basketball, and I'm going to get him coming up from Net Scouts basketball. So good stuff tonight across the board from South Dakota and beyond. Let's get you on 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch studio hotline, 605-720-1067. That's your number for tonight. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline is powered by the Pizza Ranch, our favorite buffet. You know that. It's at East 10th Street in Sioux Falls. Also a location in Brandon. Great Pizza Ranch locations in Rapid City. Locally owned and operated. They support the community, and we support them. Home of everyone's favorite buffet, the Pizza Ranch. Also, the Barron's Wilson text line open, 605-720-1067. Text us on the Barron's Wilson text line. Some good text last night across the board. Be a part of the conversation. That matters a lot. We welcome you in on the text line, 605-720-1067. All right. Can you guys humor me a little bit today? I know. Can you humor me a little bit and bring me some balance? Can you bring me some measured reaction today of what's happening? I'm just going to start with this. Give me 5 minutes on this, and then we're going to get to this other story that's out of Nebraska and how it could actually relate to South Dakota and what we discussed yesterday. But give me some measured reaction here. Give me some balance. You tell me, after what you've seen now, after what you watched last night, you watched Monday Night Football, you Kansas City Chiefs fans. The Chiefs go down. I loved it. Why not? They're 2-3. You Chiefs fans, you're 2-3. Does it feel like the Kansas City Chiefs now, who I've always put number one, you got to take them down. They are the top team in the AFC. Not just the AFC West, they're the top team of the AFC. I watched that last night, and it just feels a little bit different than before. It feels, people were trying to do this a couple of years ago when the Chiefs had some down games and then they stormed back. They were trying to do this. This feels like even the guys are a little bit different now, and I think this team isn't quite what the Chiefs have always been. It just feels different. You lose into Jacksonville. Maybe the Jaguars are fine. I don't know if they're great. Oh, okay, they're 4-1, I guess. But this is the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is the Chiefs, who, if you are the best of the best in the AFC and AFC West, you win those games no problem. Even if it is an upstart Jaguars team, and Trevor Lawrence does, make some good plays, some not so good plays. So you just tell me this. As I watched last night, I now think it is a legitimate thing. This is me as a Broncos fan to say the Denver Broncos have closed the gap. It looks like the Denver Broncos, I've had them at second in the AFC West. It sure looks like they could win the AFC West now, and we haven't seen that in forever. I call it 10 years. That's forever in this business. So the Denver Broncos, you tell me, can I now say that fairly? Because I don't come on to and do the Broncos Kool-Aid all the time. You know this. I try and be fair with my team here, and I've always said, you Chiefs are number one in the AFC. And last night, another loss. They're 2-3, and I just start going, It sure feels different with the Kansas City Chiefs now. It feels different. The Broncos feel like they have closed the gap. Do you now think the Broncos could be the best team in the AFC West? That is a legitimate question we can start today's show with for the first time in 10 years. I've never said that. I've never said that in 10 years. So give me some measured responses, okay? Thanks for getting in. You're live, and you go ahead.
Wow, 5 games into the season. So Buffalo, boy, they're borderline goners too.
Buffalo? I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, come on, Nate. Are you? Oh my gosh, are you hanging out there behind Hardee's down the street, enjoying some cocktails?
No. What's happened here? The Chiefs don't feel the same, do they? Come on.
This is only the second win, ain't it? With a winning record for Bo Nix.
Yeah, it's only his second year.
Oh, okay.
It's only his second year.
I wanted to throw that out. It's like everything else. This is week 5. Talk to me at week 18.
Okay, so you're hanging in.
Because if we go by you guys, and not too many are outside of Colin Cowherd, it's this week he's on them.
Okay. By the way, I've said, is it fair to ask?
We already know.
Is it no? I said, is it fair to ask if the Broncos are the best team in the AFC West? Is that fair?
No, they're not the best team, Nate.
Okay.
That's your second win over a ranked or a team with a winning record in a year and a half. Okay, let's hold up there, Pony Soldier.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
I have said, Nate, even 2 years ago on your show, I wanted Travis Kelce traded.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I've been thinking for that.
All right, man.
And I'm like, well, no, but like I said, you got to beat us, Nate.
That is true.
Week 18, I think we play you week 16.
And coming up in about a month, so we'll see.
But the second game, nobody cares about that one.
All right.
It's the second game that's going to come down, Nate, because you'll have 4 or 5 losses by then.
You're hanging in with the Chiefs, and I'm okay with that.
I got you, Nate. I'm not like my neighbor down the street. Now he's wearing that. He went from my Chiefs and then Baltimore.
Oh.
I mean, this is all in the last few weeks. So.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you. Thanks for getting on.
Denver's there, but you got to win, Nate. You got to win.
Okay. Thanks for getting in. Good to hear from you. I wanted to make sure I got the Chiefs homer in here today. Let's see here. Listener text. Last year, Chiefs would have touched Lawrence, and also cameraman was not a Jaguars fan. That's why we got the good look of picking his nose. Yeah, I saw that last night. Trevor Lawrence had a tough day on picking his nose on camera, but then got up and ran in for a touchdown because the Chiefs' Chris Jones stood around and watched. He stood around and watched last night. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, Chris Jones, you guys paid him a bunch of money. I mean, a bunch of money. And he stood around and watched Trevor Lawrence run in for that last touchdown. That was unbelievable. Listener text, Chiefs are just retooling and maybe need more help on the D-line. Well, this isn't the time to retool. This is not the time to retool. Is it fair to ask if the Broncos could be the best team in the AFC West this season? I haven't said that in a decade. I haven't said it in a decade, and you guys know this. You know this if you've been listening to the show for a long time. I'm a Broncos lifer. I've never said it. I think it's fair to look at it and consider it now. I haven't put the Broncos in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm not going full Sean Payton on you today. But I am telling you the AFC West now looks in reach. The Chiefs don't look like the Chiefs, and people say, well, this happened a couple of years ago. These guys have gotten older. They don't look as good. I think the Chiefs aren't quite as good, especially on the D-line there. You talk about Chris Jones, but how about the O-line? The O-line's taken steps back. People thought they were going to be great. They've taken steps back as well. Do you think the Broncos could be the best team in the AFC West this season? That's my question of the day as we start. I've never asked it. I never even wanted to go there. I mean, I got to be fair to you Chiefs fans. The Chiefs have been the best of the best. The best of the best. And I don't like the Chiefs. But I think it's now fair to ask that. My Broncos are arriving. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. Hey, congratulations for your Broncos.
All right.
I think both the NFC and the AFC are absolutely wide open this year.
Oh,
we were thinking the Ravens were going to be great.
Yeah,
they stink.
Yeah.
We were thinking the Chiefs were still going to be great. They've fallen off a little bit. They kind of lost their aura. They've still got Mahomes. Don't count him out. He's kind of like Brady. We said Brady was dead for like 15 years.
I know.
So don't count him out.
I'm not saying they're dead. I'm not saying they're dead.
Nobody's scared of them anymore.
Right. I think that's fair. I think that is fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely. And then same for the Eagles. They're still winning, kind of. They're 4-1 now, right?
Yep.
But they can't run the ball and they can't throw the ball, but they're still winning.
So a little
I don't
dicey,
understand
though.
that.
A little dicey in Philly, you say. It's dicey.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I still don't want to play in Philly in January, but they're a beatable team. And really the team that I'm scared of the most.
I got it. Can I guess it?
This is going to sound weird.
Can I guess it?
Sure, go.
Lions.
No.
Huh?
The Bucks.
You should be. Oh, the Bucks?
Those guys they don't quit. And don't piss Baker off because he's going to torch you. It's amazing. He's one of those guys that you're just be nice to him.
He's a competitor. He is a competitor. I do like that about Baker Mayfield. I'm not scared of the Bucks. I'm scared of that Lions running game. You better be ready for that Lions running game. I hate to tell you as a Vikings fan. I hate to tell you.
Hey, man, we have a really good interior defensive line now, and once we get Genko back and Cashman back, we've been beat up, but we've got the tools to stop the run this year.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Anyway,
thanks for getting on.
Have a good day, bud.
As always, thanks for the call. Good stuff. No. Be scared of the Lions, Vikings fan. Be scared of the Lions. They got a couple of running backs. They got an O-line. It's not going to be great. It's not going to be great on the ground against the Vikes coming up. Is it fair to say the Broncos could win the AFC West today? Or is that just drink of the Kool-Aid, which I don't drink that Kool-Aid, guys. I don't drink the Kool-Aid. 54% of you are voting saying, no, I don't see it. 46% of you tonight voting the Broncos are good enough to win the AFC West. 54% no, I don't see it. 46% Broncos are good enough to win the AFC West. Listener text, even in the down years, the Broncos have played the Chiefs pretty tough, so I'm guardedly optimistic. Yeah, I mean, they still got to get through. They got to get over the top here. They got to get over the top. They had them last year on the road and blew it, getting trucked on the field goal game-winning kick up front. So you got to do it, but I think it's fair to say that, and I haven't even thought about that in 10 years. I mean, I haven't even thought it in 10 years. That's something. Listener text, no way, Chiefs, still the Chiefs. One more listener text. I'm still not a believer, but the Chiefs lost their aura. What am I doing? Am I aura farming? What's that? What is that? I keep hearing about this aura farming. Do I aura farm on this program? I don't even know what that is. But thanks for bringing me up to speed a little bit. Let's go to Nebraska. Gary Sharp's on tonight from Omaha, 1620 The Zone. Yes, we're going to get into the Huskers and what's coming here. The nice win against Michigan State. I thought that was solid. They got Maryland here. Not so sure. Maryland, you would think easy stuff over the years. Little tough this week. One of those scary games. And then we got to get into this high school football story out of Omaha today. There was a team who just forfeited in Nebraska today, a high school football team. They say, we have too many injuries and other factors. We're not going to play a powerhouse out of Omaha. What do we think of that call? Gary Sharp coming up from 1620 The Zone as we get going.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's still time to save big on your landscaping project at Menards. Create stunning patios and strong retaining walls with our huge in-stock selection of concrete blocks ready to take home today. Plus, get pre-estimates fast with our easy-to-use design and buy program in-store or on Menards.com. Don't miss out. Check out our weekly flyer and start saving on landscape blocks now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Football is on, and your place for all the action is at the BetMGM Sportsbook in Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort.
And he's got a touchdown!
Don't miss a second of your favorite matchups with wall-to-wall television arrays and personalized audio technology.
Touchdown, Denver!
Now offering live betting so you can keep your luck rolling while the game is still going. Grab a lounge chair or pull up to a table and order off a full menu of food and drinks from Patty O'Neill's. BetMGM at Tin Lizzie is the #1 sportsbook in Deadwood, where it's always game on.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. High temperatures reach up to 63 this afternoon under sunny skies, southeasterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, lows around 43. 77 tomorrow, bright sunshine. Sunshine expected Thursday with a high of 78. 72 Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 59 degrees.
If you want the peace of mind that your next pre-owned vehicle is the best it can be, you want Honda True. And you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda.
What makes a credit union different from a bank? At Highmark Credit Union, it starts with you. We're member-owned, not shareholder-driven. That means our earnings go back to you through better rates, lower fees, and personal service. Unlike big banks, we put people first. You're not just an account number, you're part of a community. Highmark Credit Union. Local, personal, and here for you. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back in your sports, your show, The Nate Brown Show, Tuesday edition. We're ready. Thanks for being here on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're a part of the program. Appreciate you. Also, all of our sponsors across South Dakota, thanks for making this show possible, and our listeners being part of the action matters a lot. Appreciate you guys checking in. The Nate Brown Show live. Also streaming on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show YouTube channel, The Nate Brown Show, and you've got us. Also on X. Follow us at Nate Brown Show, and then you can watch this show live on your phone there on X. You have the app, and you've got us live every afternoon. Let's go to Omaha, 1620. The Zone does a great job with this show. 1620 The Zone, great station. Gary Sharp's on tonight. Yeah, I make him do double duty. He's on in the morning, and then he pops on the Nate Brown Show in the afternoon drive. Gary, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Good, Nate. Anything for you, my friend.
There you go. Hey, I want to get to the Huskers. I'm going to get to this Huskers thing. I like the win against Michigan State. I thought that was solid. And then I want to get to this Maryland thing. That's a sneaky game nobody ever talked about at all. So I'm going to get to that. First, I want to get to this high school story because here's what's happened in South Dakota. I went to a game Friday night, and I knew what was going to happen. And if I knew what was going to happen, everyone else did too, including the players, coaches for Rapid City Stevens, a high school in Rapid City, who took on Sioux Falls Jefferson. It was a 50-point game at half. And then, we all know what happens there. So Rapid City Stevens hasn't won a game in 2 seasons, and I've talked about how there's got to be some changes in the system in South Dakota high school football to allow for schools to schedule their own games, for schools to maybe drop down a class when they've struggled so much. So I'm advocating for some real adaptable system here to change the trajectory of some programs that are really struggling. And now you got some things going on in Omaha, in Nebraska, essentially. You got a powerhouse team down there. When I talk powerhouse, I'm talking nationally ranked, top 20 in the nation, Millard South. They're playing teams in Nebraska and blasting them. They've outscored them 391-17. And so Lincoln High's getting ready to play them this week, and they just announced today they're going to bag it. They have injuries, other factors, they say. Is this a big problem, teams facing Millard South, and it's a total mismatch? Is this a message that the Nebraska Activities Association has to look at?
So they have looked at it, but it doesn't start until next year. So you're right. Millard South is number 19 in the country. They have 9 Power 4 commitments. The starting quarterback is going to Alabama. I mean, they're unbelievable to watch them play, but it's 50-0 at halftime, and the running clock starts, and they're just blowing everybody out. So I actually think, Nate, they will not play again in the regular season. Next week, they are scheduled to play North Platte, which, for people that aren't familiar with the geography of Nebraska, it would be like a Rapid City team going all the way to Sioux Falls to play, but that Rapid City team is 1-5, and they're going to play, Jefferson or, one of the better teams in Sioux Falls. So I don't think that game's going to be played. And then the following week, to finish the year, they're playing a Omaha Public School team that only has 25 kids out for football. So I don't think they'll play the rest of the year until the playoffs. But next year, they're changing it. Now, we have an issue in this state about the 90 days you have to sit out. They want to get it to 180 and transfer. I don't know if that's going to pass. But they've done a thing next year and moving forward called competitive scheduling, where Millard South is going to play teams that are more on their level, and they're not going to be playing these lower-level schools in Class A, which is the largest class in Nebraska. It's 32 teams. So they've changed it with competitive scheduling, and we'll see if that does anything. But it's not a good look. In Class A in this state, Friday night we had 62-0, 63-0, 65-7, 62-3, and then the 58-3 by Millard South. So it's not a good thing. They've worked on it. It'll change next year. But right now, Millard South is they're just crushing everybody.
What do you say about the open enrollment argument here? I'm for open enrollment because in South Dakota, I believe in that. You should be able to choose this school for many reasons, but people know they're choosing it for football. They're choosing it for basketball, whatever. So is that the big issue? As everybody said, I'm going to Millard South because I'm the real deal, and then we got a stacked team big time.
Yeah, and you have, a lot of school districts are open enrollment. So you can live in Omaha, but you go to school in Millard, and, let's say, it's 15 minutes away. But it's also sitting out. So right now, if you transfer, and we have a major recruiting problem in this city for sports, boys and girls. We actually have always joked about having a portal show for high school athletics because you have to be in your school by May 1 to be eligible for the upcoming year.
Okay.
And so right after the first of the year, because you have to sit out 90 days, kids will transfer right away. So it's wild. I think the NSA is up against it trying to get that passed, but at least they've taken a step with competitive scheduling.
Okay, so you think that might help a little bit. Is there any other answer to this? You're talking about North Platte coming in to play this Millard South team next week, and you're like predicting they may not play. Is it good for teams to forfeit here?
Well, I think if you're looking, for example, Lincoln High last year, they forfeited at halftime of the game against Millard South. They were getting crushed, and they lost like 8 kids in the first half to injury. So Lincoln High has a chance to make the playoffs, and there's the fear of not the loss, because I think you kind of in your head think, yeah, we're going to lose. It's just, are we going to lose like 4 or 5 guys to injury, and there goes our season. It's not good. The vibe around high school football in the largest class in the state, Nate, is terrible. People are like, it's already a foregone conclusion. Millard South Thanksgiving week is going to win the state title, and people are upset. And Millard South got some really good players. I mean, their quarterback is going to Alabama. The city of Omaha has a kid that's going to Alabama to play quarterback on a full-ride scholarship. But yet people don't talk about him because they're so upset at Millard South and the way things are going in Class A.
Is there any answer to it outside of allowing these teams to have some competitive scheduling? I've talked about that here where I call it regional scheduling for Rapid City schools to schedule better games against better opponents that are more like them. Is there any other answer to stop the powerhouse programs?
Well, the one thing is 180 days. So once you transfer to a school, you got to sit out 180 days. And if that ever gets passed, then you're not going to see as many movement around, and maybe kids will be more likely to go to their neighborhood school. Like right now, your next-door neighbor, Nate, could be going to a school 35 minutes away because he's a great football player, and yet you guys grew up together going to the same school.
Yeah.
You can walk to your high school. So they're trying to pass that, but they're getting a little bit of pushback on that.
Boy, it's wild. Nebraska's having some conversations today. Lincoln High's forfeiting their game this week against powerhouse Millard South. When I say powerhouse, it's like the real deal. They got, I think, 12 players with D1 offers here on the table. So Gary Sharp's on tonight from 1620 The Zone out of Omaha. Let's shift to the Huskers. What did you think of the win over Michigan State? Huskers won it by 11. That's what the line said. What did you think of it?
It wasn't the prettiest game. It was a really weird game. The wind was howling at about 40 miles an hour, so it impacted play calling, impacted both the quarterbacks. And Nebraska went through a stretch, Nate, for about 42. The first 42 minutes of the game, they only had 77 yards of total offense. And they were behind 21-14, and they weren't playing well. And it felt like this is what happens with Nebraska football. They find a way to lose a game after scoring on the opening drive. So these weird games that they found a way to lose, for the first time in a while, they found a way to win a game. And last year's team wouldn't have won this game. The last 10 years, they wouldn't have won these games. So they have shown signs of growth, but they're not perfect. And they got a ways to go, but they found a way to win, and they wake up today, they're 4-1. They look at Penn State, you look at Wisconsin, you look at some other teams, and you go, hey, don't complain about 4-1. Now they get ready for a really interesting 2-game stretch where I think if you're wondering, because you follow Nebraska football pretty closely, you're wondering where this program is in year 3 in Matt Rule, the next 2 games will tell you a lot, because they go to Maryland. It's really their first true road game. I don't count the game in Kansas City. That was more of a home game. They go to Maryland, a team they don't normally play, don't go out there. Maryland's going to try and prove that fourth quarter meltdown against Washington was not a fluke. And then they come back on short rest because they play a week from Friday in Minneapolis against Minnesota, and Fleck has owned Nebraska. So I think the next 2 weeks are going to tell you a lot about where this program is. But they're 4-1. They're doing some things better than they've done in the past, but they still got a lot of questions.
I said the Maryland game all of a sudden looks like it was a sneaky one for me. I just counted it as a win when I'm going through their schedule saying, well, if you want to be where you want to be, that's the win you have to have. And now I look at Maryland going, some of the games they've played, I know they lose to Washington, they're late, but I'm looking at Maryland going, man, these guys seem pretty good. So if the Huskers can't get that done, what should we think?
Yeah, it's a game like if you're trying to convince me that you're making you're getting better, it's a game you find a way to win. Maryland's improved, but their strengths kind of play into Nebraska's strengths. They don't have a running quarterback like Sorsby, Underwood, Childs, the last 3 Power 4 teams. They throw the ball. Nebraska defends the pass really well. The line is 6.5. So it's one of those games that could be a little bit sneaky, but Maryland has this issue where they get to October and they forget to win football games. Like we were all watching in the press box on Saturday, oh my, Nebraska's going to go there and Maryland's going to be 5-1, and then they blew a 3-score lead in the fourth quarter. So I'm not really sure what Nebraska's walking into, but I still think at this point it's all about Nebraska. They've got some issues on the offensive line with their tackles, protecting Dylan holding on the ball too long. Can they stop the run? All of those things they got to fix. But I will tell you one thing that is comforting to Nebraska fans. They're 5 games into the season. Turnovers, penalties, and special teams are not a discussion, and that has not been the case over the last 5 to 10 years.
Where are you at on this offensive line right now?
Well, they got some issues at tackle. I don't think you can have the offensive line discussion at Nebraska without including Dylan. Not all the sacks are on the offensive line. Dylan has a tendency to hold the ball too long, to back up into pressure, to not throw the ball away. He's not a real mobile guy. So they tried some different things in the second half, but they got a challenge on Saturday. Maryland leads the country in sacks with 19. They have 2 true freshmen that have combined for 9 of those 19 sacks. So the 2 tackles, and they made a change in the starting lineup before Michigan State, they're going to be challenged, but they've got to find a way to create the offense where Dylan gets the ball out quicker, wide receivers get more in space, and maybe more of a screen game. With Dana Holgerson, they did a little bit more of that in the second half, and it seemed to work.
Gary Sharp on tonight. Follow him on X at Gary Sharp 1620. He's on 1620 The Zone in Omaha every morning. What's your take on Penn State, man? What do you say about James Franklin losing at UCLA?
Well, I've heard you talking about James Franklin a lot, Nate, and I think, it's been a while since Penn State won a Big Ten title. Do you show growth, but you don't have a Big Ten title, and you haven't beaten Ohio State? I think you can kind of go, yeah, we have James Franklin. We just can't beat those ranked teams, but we beat everybody else. You can get away with that. But the first time you lose to a team that you should win and you give up 42, then you go, where is our program? Do we have a way out of this? Because that's on the feet of James Franklin. They got beat by Oregon. Oregon's a really good football team, playoff team, might win a national championship. They came into your house, tight game. They found a way to win in overtime. You went all the way across the country. No complaining about travel because Oregon came all the way across the country and won in your house on whiteout. They weren't prepared to play that game. They got beat by a team that had fired their head coach, OC, and DC before you ever got out to Los Angeles. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Penn State. I think they have a Drew Aller problem, but that's strictly on James Franklin, and we'll see what happens with Penn State. But how about this? In the offseason, they made a big move to get Ohio State's DC. They paid a ton of money. They give up 42 to UCLA. Well, at Ohio State, Matt Patricia, everybody went, whoa, why would you hire that guy? They're on a historic pace with defense. So it's a lose-lose right now for James Franklin.
Okay, Gary Sharp, who wins then, Penn State or Iowa? The question of the day.
Oh, let me see what Iowa does at Wisconsin, but I do like Iowa at Kinnick at night next week.
All right, early look. Gary Sharp on tonight, 1620 The Zone. He is on in Omaha. Man, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Always the best, Nate.
Thanks a lot. Gary Sharp tonight. Follow him at Gary Sharp 1620. That's 1620 The Zone, Omaha host in the morning. Gary Sharp on the Nate Brown Show tonight. We didn't even have time to get to Omaha basketball, which, they win the Summit League on the men's side here. They would then be in this expanded tournament that people are talking about now, 76 teams. Omaha would have played in the opening round of 12. So I'll save that next time, Gary. We'll save that. Gary's the play-by-play man covering Omaha. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, I've got Jake Shapiro ready to go. He's in Denver, denversports.com. I'll ask him my question of the day. Is it fair to now say the Broncos could win the AFC West? I've never once mentioned that, and it's amazing, in 10 years. But I'm mentioning it today. Jake Shapiro, Denver Sports, coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic, the number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Great. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer from Denny Menholt Toyota. Use your phone. It's fast and easy. Pull up our website, click on Value Trade-In, scan your VIN, and tell us about your car. You are on your way to a no-hassle, no-commitment cash offer on your vehicle in under 5 minutes. Bring your vehicle and your Kelley Blue Book Instant Cash Offer to Denny Menholt Toyota and get cash or trade-in credit today. See you soon at Denny Menholt Toyota, Rapid City.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show. A reminder, everybody in Sioux Falls, you got to try Atomic Wings. If you haven't had it, you got to hit it. Man, the first time I tried it, the boneless wings are unbelievable. Traditional wings, I ordered them up too. Outstanding. I mean, really, really big boneless wings. I mean, that's the way to go. A lot of times I don't like the boneless wings, right? So I'm like, well, okay, these are the best boneless wings I've had. AtomicWings.com, right there in Sioux Falls. 2 locations. Whether it's game day, lunch at the office, you're grabbing something with the family at night after practices, it's AtomicWings.com. Just pick up your order. They've got you covered. Try it out. The best. AtomicWings.com. Jake Shapiro's joining us tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. He is on DenverSports.com. Yes, you can find him there. 104.3 The Fan, Denver. Jake, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a great time in the sports calendar, and I'm soaking it all in like your listeners, Nate.
I see that. Now, this is something I didn't know about you. You're coming from a family of Cubs fans. I'm a Cubs fan. I'm a Cubs lifer since the days of Harry Carey and Steve Stone and Andre Dawson, the whole thing. Cubbies are down 2-0. You were watching it in Milwaukee. Now you're going to watch in Chicago tomorrow. Are the Cubbies in trouble here?
Well, when you go down 15 straight to end the game and your approach late in the game is just not even the walks like they had earlier in Game 2, I have little hope that they have some fight left in them to make this even a 4-game or a 5-game series. So Milwaukee was the best team in baseball for a reason all year long, and they've got arm after arm after arm that comes out of that bullpen. Pat Murphy's got the boys humming, and I think Craig Counsell's an arm and a bat short, as well as some grit, quite honestly. So, yeah, I have little faith in the Cubs right now, unfortunately.
Okay, little faith. That doesn't help me, but enjoy the game at Wrigley tomorrow anyway. Let's go to Denver, and let's get you this question of the day to my audience. So here's one thing I've never said in 10 years. I haven't said it in 10 years. The Broncos could be the best team in the AFC West. I haven't said it in 10 years. I'm referencing it today. I didn't say are, but could be. And it feels like they really could be. Is that off to you?
Well, you look across the AFC and just the broader picture is that the conference looks wide open. Buffalo looks to be the team to beat, though that game in New England against New England was tough to watch on Sunday for a couple of reasons. Baltimore has faded, Houston has faded, and we see what's happening with Kansas City. And it's not just my eyes, your eyes, right? The money is telling us this as well. A couple weeks back when the Chargers went up 3-0 on the division, and obviously that's changed a little bit in the last few weeks, but when the Chargers went 3-0 up on the division with wins over everyone, it was the first time the Kansas City Chiefs weren't the favorites to win the AFC West by betting money in over 5 years. So Vegas is already jumped off of the Chiefs earlier this season. And if you think in the NFL right now, if you look across the AFC West, Chiefs are, one of the better teams in football, okay. The Chargers have beaten them. The Chargers have beat the Broncos. To me, it's still the tent pole in the division is the Chargers, but they've had so many injuries the last few weeks that, they're going to have a tough time getting through the middle part of their schedule, and they're going to be a whole different team when they meet the Broncos at the end of the season for the season's final game.
Okay, so your answer, do you think the Broncos could be the best team in the AFC West is maybe?
Right now, yes. They could be the best team in the AFC West right now today. I think a lot needs to happen with this team to be a yes to that question in the end of December, if that makes sense.
Okay, what's your concern with the Broncos as you look at them now? They could be 5-0. You know this, and I know that's the NFL. It's a game of one play here and there. They could be 5-0 legitimately. What's your take on the Broncos' concerns?
Right, they could be 5-0, or they could be 1-4. They had some bad turnovers to Tennessee, and they beat Philadelphia in a crazy way this weekend. So no doubt this could have gone a couple of different ways, and they're probably right there in the middle. I'm still concerned a little bit with Bo Nix. I think he hasn't looked that sharp to start the season. Obviously, that's the thing everyone wants to talk about is a sophomore slump with Bo. I'm pretty concerned with Ben Powers going down with a bicep injury. He is one of the best offensive linemen in football, in my opinion, and that offensive line has remained healthy for 2 straight years, basically, and it's led to a lot of Bo Nix's success when he has been successful. Is the Broncos' pass block rate is just incredible. And finally, the last couple weeks, they started to get the run game going behind that massive offensive line. Is that now back in question with Powers down? And McGlinchey went down for part of that Philadelphia game. He should be healthy for the game in London against the Jets. So I'm a little bit worried about the whole offensive line in the Knicks situation. I still have some question marks in their backfield. J.K. Dobbins is awesome every time he's healthy, but he's proven time and time again in his career that he doesn't stay healthy. They've had trouble incorporating Evan Ingram into their offense. He was supposed to be their biggest piece they've gotten this offseason, and it leaves a lot on Cortland Sutton's shoulders at the end of the day to work miracles. And against Quinion Mitchell, who's one of the best players in the NFL, the corner for the Philadelphia Eagles, Sutton legitimately worked miracles in that game. So if he continues to play like that, maybe the offense will be fine. But I think this offense lacks a little something extra. And on top of that, you look at their defense, which is supposed to be one of the best in the NFL. Yeah, Nick Bonito is playing out of his mind. He's playing like an all-defensive player. And they still have Pat Surtain, who was literally the defensive player of the year last year. But Surtain's had a rough start to the season. And I think part of that's due to the injury he picked up a little earlier that he's playing through. But ultimately, I expected a little bit more from this Broncos defense than what we've seen. And I think as much of the comeback was on the offense, and, the defense did make some plays in that game. Nate, don't get me wrong, against Philadelphia. I think a big part of that comeback came because of the speculation around A.J. Brown going into last week. And him wanting the ball. They only ran the ball one time on a designed run to Saquon Barkley in that second half last week. Like, that's more on Philadelphia messing up that game, in my opinion, than it was Denver going out and stealing it in Philadelphia. So I'm concerned about both phases of the game.
How about that call by Sean Payton? I said, boy, he had things fall into place, and it ended up looking like he just had a premonition. We're going to go for 2, and then we're going to force them have to get a touchdown because we're going to get another field goal, and we're going to win because of my decisions. He went for 2 with 7.5 left. I thought it was crazy at the time.
Well, when you onside kick in a Super Bowl, I'm never going to be surprised by the huevos rancheros you're carrying around in your back pocket. You know what I mean?
That was wild to me. That was wild. How big was the win in Philly? I've seen people say franchise-changing win. That's not me yet, but how big was the win at Philly?
It's certainly the staple game of the Sean Payton era to this point. You know, the Broncos moved heaven and earth to get Sean Payton, and then they went and got Bo Nix, and this was the best win for both of them to this point. So this could be a building block game, a turning point game where we go, that's when the Denver Broncos turned into a pretty good football team too. They're a pretty dang good football team. They're one that we got to look out for as a contender. And the reason why this can really flip the Broncos season is not only are they above 500 right now at 3, with those 3 wins, as opposed to, maybe not above 500 had things gone differently like we talked about, right? The next 5 weeks of play, Nate, they've got New York Jets on the road. They've got the New York Giants at home. They've got the Dallas Cowboys at home. They've got an easy game against the Raiders. They've got the Texans, who look like a complete mess right now. They've got 5 opportunities here, and then they have a mini bye going into the Chiefs game before their real bye. They have an opportunity here over the next 5 weeks to just absolutely rack up wins, and there's a real chance that this team ends up, 8-3, 9-3 going in towards the end of the season when their schedule gets really, really tough. So the Broncos might look like a contender playing on primetime games, getting flexed to primetime games every single week towards the end of the season. So that's the type of team that is a contender, right? That's one of those teams that does have the paradigm and the success and the hype around them. So yeah, this game against Philadelphia and the 20 million people that watched it, according to CBS today, that's the type of thing that could say to the world and to the country, hey, the Denver Broncos are back as one of the NFL's elite teams. I'm not saying it yet, but this is all could, maybe should, and, we weren't even talking about could, maybe should the last couple of years. So this is a big difference where the Broncos have been.
No, I'm with you. I said myself the last 10 years. I mean, it's been a long time. I've never put that question out. I've never said hot take, the Broncos, here they come. A lot of people were saying that before the season started. I said, hey, let's pump the brakes. I'm not saying Super Bowl yet like Sean Payton has thrown around. Broncos, AFC West, it's there. It's there. Jake Shapiro.
You know what I'm saying about the AFC West, Nate? It's like the Berlin Wall. Until the Kansas City Chiefs, the statue of them, is on the ground and being disassembled, I'm not calling the Chiefs dead and not the leaders in the AFC West quite yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been there with you on that, and I'm not quite calling them yet, but last night I go, those are the games the Chiefs always won, and they didn't against the Jags last night. Last one for Jake Shapiro. I got to get a Buffs reaction here. Buffs are in the bottom of the Big 12. Are there big problems with the Buffs and Dion here?
Yeah, and I think I talked about this with you last time I was on. I legitimately think they're going to struggle to win a game in the Big 12 at this point, looking at their schedule with Dion. You have to wonder this offseason, was Dion affected maybe by his health issues in preparing this team? We know he wasn't in Boulder for months. He had a procedure today on a blood clot, so now he's dealing with more health issues. He was struggling on the sidelines during the last game the Buffs played with health issues. So there's that whole thing going on, and I still question the stuff going on with his staff and some of the decisions that are made. And, Robert Livingston's supposed to be one of the best defensive coordinators in the country. He's paid to be, and Colorado doesn't have a cover corner. It's infuriating. And, Salter is a guy at the quarterback position for the Buffs that looks like he's not the guy. And you look at the success rates for Colorado, both on offense and defense the last couple weeks, And Colorado's success rate indicates that they should probably be winning these games or be in really close games, and that's not how it's been going. So, it's a little bit frustrating, and I think those differences, those make-or-break differences, as we know in football, I think come down to coaching and a slight amount of execution as well. And unfortunately, I just don't think the Buffs have the coaching or the players in place to really get these wins. And you look at the schedule and you see Iowa State and what their ranking is, I wouldn't be surprised if the Buffs got throttled this weekend.
Jake Shapiro's on tonight, 104.3 The Fan. It's denversports.com for the coverage. Jake, always good, man. Enjoy the Cubbies tomorrow. Let's get a W. Fly the W, would you? I appreciate you.
Get some runs, Nate. We need them.
Okay, I appreciate that. Jake Shapiro on tonight. He's not giving me any hope for my Cubbies tomorrow. I see why. I mean, you watched the game, last couple of games. I thought yesterday, 3-run homer. Seiya Suzuki, a 3-run homer. I'm like, hey, here we go. And after that, they gave up 2 3-run homers to the Brewers. So it's been fun. I've got some baseball stats coming up on tonight's show. Some baseball stats you haven't heard about this Major League Baseball postseason. You want to hear those, but hang on. We'll go from Jake Shapiro, denversports.com, to our high school football question of the day about this Lincoln High, Nebraska, forfeits a game to a powerhouse out of Omaha. They said they have injuries. They said other factors. And then Gary Sharp, who was on tonight from Omaha, said there might be other teams that just forfeit their games against this Millard South, this powerhouse team. What do we think of forfeiting high school games? Question of the day coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Mom, can we please go to Watiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Watiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Watiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WatikiWaterPark.com.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Hi, I'm Tim Wrench, and I'm seeking personal injury cases. If you've been injured because someone else did something wrong, call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know that you're represented by a trial lawyer, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Clear skies tonight with lows around 43. Winds out of the south 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies again tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 77. Clear skies tomorrow night. Lows level off around 50. Daytime highs approaching 78 Thursday under clear skies. 72 Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 58.
Since 1928, Connect Home Center has been proud to serve Rapid City and Spearfish with quality products and customer service that you can trust. In 2000, Connect joined the Mead Lumber family, and now they're taking the next step into their journey. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name from design to finish. Mead Lumber is here for you, as they've always been. MeadLumber.com.
It's time to hit the court at the Waikiki Fall Hoop Fest, November 7th through the 9th at the Box Elder Event Center. 3 days of non-stop basketball action as teams battle it out for bragging rights and glory. Divisions for boys and girls, grades 5th through 10th. Bring your game, bring your team, and bring the energy. And when the game's over, celebrate with special Courtyard by Marriott room rates that include Waikiki Water Park passes for even more fun. Don't sit on the sidelines. Register your team today at thebox.live.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. Your sports, your show, The Nate Brown Show, live, Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. If you want to be part of the conversation, I invite you on the text line. Listener text line is 605-720-1067. Be a part of the show there on the Barron's Wilson listener text line, 605-720-1067. Coming up, Mike DeCourcy, great writer. He's covered college sports for a long time for the Sporting News, longtime columnist. He's also on the Big Ten Network and Fox Sports. Mike DeCourcy's live tonight. He's got a big story out today about the future of the NCAA and his read. Chris Denker's in tonight, former D1 college basketball coach. Now he's a club basketball director. His son plays mid-major basketball. What would he think of a changed NCAA tournament that they're talking about? 76 teams and champions out of the Summit League playing in an opening round of 12. Not like being in the real tournament. Chris Denker's coming up next hour as well. Hang on. A lot to discuss tonight. I have a question of the day. It's dealing with this Nebraska story. Lincoln High out of Lincoln, Nebraska, the Lincoln Lynx, Lincoln High Lynx, they have forfeited their upcoming football game this week. There's a powerhouse program in Class A in Nebraska, Millard South. It's in Omaha. And the big story is everybody that's a football player goes to Millard South. They're a nationally ranked team, nationally ranked. They got 12 players with D1 offers on the roster. 12 players. We're talking not just normal D1, power conference D1s. So Millard South has outscored their opponents. What's the number? I had it here. 391-17. Millard South Omaha has outscored their opponents 391-17. So Lincoln High just said, hey, we just had some injuries here. We got injuries and other factors, they say. The other factors, what are those? They forfeited. We're not playing we're not playing the team. It's not going to help us. We're going to finish out our season. We're not going to play this game. So what do we think of a team forfeiting? And I referenced this. Rapid City Stevens, I was talking about this on the show yesterday. If you listened to yesterday's show, or if you missed it, good high school sports, good high school football discussion, which I think it's important here in the state to have these discussions and think a little bit, thought-provoking stuff, how we can maybe tweak and change South Dakota high school football rules. But Rapid City Stevens, I was told, had 17 injuries. 17 injuries. They barely had enough guys. I mean, the number was really small out there. There was freshmen I've never seen able to play against Sioux Falls Jefferson this past Friday. And so I'm like, well, Rapid City Stevens could have done this, I guess. What would you think of that? What if Rapid City Stevens announced, and of course we would have announced that here on the program. What if they would have announced, hey, we got injuries, we don't have enough guys, basically, we're going to forfeit against Sioux Falls Jefferson. I think a lot of people in South Dakota would have went bonkers. I think people, what? Stevens, that's a big school. They just lose their mind. That's how it sounds in my own head. So they would have went bonkers if, I think, and I was told they had 17 players injured. And I looked at it. I went to the game. There's guys on the sideline. They're all out. They didn't have enough players to be a competitive team at all. Let alone they're having a struggle anyway, even with their regular starters. So what if Rapid City Stevens would have just thought, hey, let's just forfeit? I don't think people would have liked that. But Lincoln High out of Nebraska is just going to get out in front of it. They say, we don't even want to do this. So what do you think of high school teams forfeiting like this? And we're not talking about like the 9-man schools who literally have like 9 guys left. Well, I'm not talking about the little small schools that, hey, we don't have enough players. You see that every year. I think we just had Wilmot just do that, right? I think Wilmot just forfeited because they don't have enough guys. I'm not talking that. I'm talking the bigger schools. This is Class A in Nebraska, highest class. Teams forfeiting. Well, too many injuries. And guess what? We're playing Millard South, who's the number 19 team in the country, in the nation, and we don't want to do it. What do you think of forfeiting? I don't think people would have liked Stevens to forfeit, so they sucked it up, and they went out there and competed, and I commend the players. I've said that numerous times because it's rough stuff. What do you think of it? Is it fine to forfeit like this in high school football out of Nebraska? That's where this is being discussed today. Is it fine to forfeit? 55% voting, it's fine. There's nothing to gain. 45%, I don't like it. You should try to play. What say you? 605-720-1067. Is it fine to forfeit high school football, or you don't like it, you should try to play, even in a big-time mismatch? Big-time mismatch. Gary Sharp from Omaha was on tonight as we opened the show, and he said he thinks there's going to be the last couple of games there in Nebraska. The other teams playing this Millard South team, he thinks they're going to forfeit. North Platte. Anybody know North Platte, Nebraska? I know North Platte. My brother lived there for a while. North Platte plays Millard South coming up next week. They're 1-4. North Platte is 1-4. Think they want to have some fun? Hey, let's go play against Millard South. They got 12 D1 players, and their quarterback's going to Alabama. Should be a lot of fun. I don't like the trend. I don't like the forfeiting if it becomes a thing. Like, if those next two teams do forfeit in Nebraska, I don't like that. I don't like that. What's the answer? Well, you have to change the system. And Nebraska's kind of going through this. Well, we're going to change the scheduling next year so Millard South doesn't schedule North Platte and some of these other teams. That's a good start. We don't even do that here in South Dakota. We just make Rapid City Stevens travel 4 times across to Sioux Falls. Sorry. We just make them do it, and we don't even think, why don't they play teams in the area that are more competitive games, better for the fans, better for the school budget? Nobody wants to change the system. So at least Nebraska's trying to tweak it a little bit. They're changing the scheduling model starting next year. South Dakota's not even doing that. But I've got something for you based on this, okay? I have something for you based on this. I'm going to continue this conversation of, remember when Sioux Falls and those all the schools were together in AA? Oh, of course you do, right? Pierre and Watertown and Aberdeen Central, all these teams were in the big school class. Mitchell was even in there. Huron. They were in the big school class with all the Sioux Falls schools. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but I'm old enough to remember. So I've got to tell you, this might be, I've been thinking about this now, and it's time for me to possibly admit one of the most unpopular opinions of South Dakota high school football. It's a big shift from me on this whole thing. Coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Hey, Mama.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See AnytimeAnytime.com, and as always, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. Second hour ready to go, driven by Summit Automotive Group on the Nate Brown Show. When it comes to pre-owned in South Dakota, start at SummitAutoGRP.com. Car buying built around you. Find out the Summit difference. When it comes to pre-owned, start on your phone, SummitAutoGRP.com. The Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Really good guest coming up next. Mike DeCourcy is in from the Sporting News, longtime sports writer. He's covered so much when it comes to college sports. He's got a story out today. Mike DeCourcy, I read this one. Why the NCAA needs to survive. Like guys like me, I've said, what's the purpose of the NCAA these days? I mean, it's just a bureaucratic mess. I mean, it's just a mess. There's no teeth. There's no nothing. It's the Wild West. People can pay players and transfer here and do this, and the NCAA's taking up all this money from the men's basketball tournament. What are they doing? But Mike DeCourcy says today they should survive. They must survive the NCAA. We'll get to them. Good guest coming up. Chris Denker's on tonight talking basketball, former D1 coach. His son plays mid-major college basketball. And so I'm going to ask Chris Denker. He's coached now in the tournament, the whole thing. What does he think of the NCAA tournament expanding? The new idea is from 68 teams to 76 teams. That's coming out again today. People to keep on throwing this around. The opening round of 12 games to open the round to play into the tournament, essentially. And Chris Denker's coming up from Net Scouts Basketball. His read, if that ever does change, what's his take to 76 teams? Okay. It's time to lay it out. We got to lay it out. We got to admit stuff sometimes. Sometimes you gotta have enough self-reflection, even when you have hot takes in South Dakota high school football, even when you have passion over something for many years. Sometimes you have to take a step back and go, wait a minute. Was I wrong about this whole thing? And I'm having that moment here today. I'm actually having that moment today. So many years now on this program and before that, I've covered South Dakota high school sports for 20 years, over 20 years now, over 20 years. Amazing. I have had this passion that I did not believe that we should have added an extra class in South Dakota high school football. I don't know how many segments I've done on that, and I've made jokes about it. I've done tongue-in-cheek stuff. I've done all this like, oh, yeah, the ESD conference, they made their own class of football so they could have the participation trophy and win at the Dome and everything like this. I've done that. I admit that. I've said, why did we add an extra class of football for, the peers of the world and some of these teams that just couldn't quite compete with Sioux Falls anymore? And I've talked to many sports guys on this over the years, the Stu Whitneys of the world and the Craig Maddocks and all these guys that have covered it. And I've been consistent that I still thought we added another class, and that was too many. I thought 7 classes of football in South Dakota. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's going to water down the top class and the whole thing. I still have that in my mind. And many of you would normally agree with me on this. I got hardly any pushback on, like, nobody walks around today that I run into, and on social media, run into some interesting characters. Nobody that I even see on there says, South Dakota has it right. We got 7 classes of football. This is exactly right. You got the Sioux Falls schools, Metro, and Rapid City in the big class. Then you got another class with all these medium tier. Then we got another class and another class. Nobody says we got it right. We got the right amount of classes. Everybody said over the years, including me, we have too many classes. And I still had people respond to me yesterday. There was people saying, I said, what change would you make to South Dakota high school football? If you listened to yesterday's show, I said, what change would you make? You know what a lot of people said? It wasn't even an option. I didn't even put it as an option because that ship has sailed. It's gone. But people said, cut the classes down. That's what many people even wrote in. They said, cut the classes down. I'm here to admit here today, when we're talking about powerhouse programs, when we're talking about blowout games, when I'm talking about some teams actually need to maybe move down a class, and I've said that to rebuild programs, to rebuild culture, to give these kids that are working their butts off a chance to compete. Because there's kids in that Stevens program, in that Central program, in that Douglas program. They're working. You say, well, not enough of them. There's kids in there, they're giving it their all. I've seen them. I watch them. You can tell the difference, the guys that want it, the guys that work. And I understand the whole team as a whole isn't doing it. But there's guys that are working, and I've always said we should change the South Dakota system to allow teams to move down that have really, really struggled. Have a success factor, and then you move them down. They don't have to petition. It's just one school that says, hey, can we move down pretty please? We want to get another chance. No, you got to have a real system that moves teams down based on their past records. So that's what I've advocated for. So how can I advocate for that and still say we should have Huron playing Sioux Falls Lincoln? Do you see this moment I'm having here today? I've argued against, hey, we have too many classes. We should have some of these teams, playing the big schools. Well, that doesn't mix. I'm coming full circle on this. You have to admit, Huron, Aberdeen Central, these teams in 11AA, Spearfish, Sturgis, they can't play Sioux Falls. They shouldn't play Sioux Falls. So you may say we have too many classes. Well, the big schools, the big dominant programs, they can't play the teams in AA anymore. That's gone. That's out the window, and it shouldn't be happening. You're just going to have more blowout games. So you have to kind of admit sometimes when you're like, oh, let's just make this argument to make it too many classes. That's the number one problem. No, it's not. Lack of competitive games. Lack of school scheduling regional games. That's the big problem. It's not that we have too many classes. I don't want Mitchell playing Brandon Valley. You guys don't want Mitchell playing Brandon Valley again like we used to do. I mean, we got to be realistic. You can argue about 9-man. Should they have 3 classes? That's a whole other discussion. But you got to be realistic here. So, it's a big shift. I might take the rest of the week off. I mean, this is a miracle. No, I mean, I'm serious. I'm looking at going, I can't argue that we have too many blowout games and teams should be able to move down a class and to be more competitive and to rebuild and have kids to have good opportunities and competitive games. I can't argue that and then say, oh, wait, we have too many classes. Oh, no, we have too many classes. We should put Mitchell and those guys in the big school class again. I want to see Huron take on Sioux Falls Lincoln. It's over. And we have it. The big schools, AAA and AA, that's probably how it should be. We need to add in competitive scheduling regionally. We need to add in a success factor to allow teams to move down and not just focus on enrollment. That's the big problem, not the too many classes thing. Mike DeCourcy's coming up. He says the NCAA needs to survive. Wow, this is interesting. Longtime sports writer, Big Ten Network, Sporting News. Mike DeCourcy on the way.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Atomic Wings, 2 locations in Sioux Falls. You don't need to keep going to the mediocre wing places with too much breading and wings that don't have any meat. Atomic Wings is different. I know firsthand. Their boneless wings are made with fresh chicken right there. The best wings I've had. 15 unique flavors to choose from sweet to heat. Huge traditional wings, fresh boneless wings for game day, lunch, or dinner. 2 locations in Sioux Falls. Just order at atomicwings.com. atomicwings.com.
Text scams continue to rise, and victims who have lost money to these scams continues to increase. Consumers cannot rely on a text message to be truthful. If you receive a message regarding a fine for missing jury duty, your utilities being shut off for non-payment, toll road fines, or you've won a sweepstakes, these are scams designed with an urgency and the need to send money now. Do not respond to these texts, and you should contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986. That's 800-300-1986 for the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
Attention football fans, the BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort has it all. Watch your team on massive high-definition screens while enjoying live betting. Keep some skin in the game even when the odds don't go your way. Enter Jack's Second Chance Mulligan Drawing by dropping your losing ticket for a shot at up to $200 in Cadillac cash every week. Satisfy your craving with mouth-watering Mexican cuisine from Guadalajara's or choose from 4 other food vendors, all while sipping on your favorite drinks. The BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your game play out?
Warren Chemical and Equipment Company reminds you fall is not the time to be backing off on your lawn care. In fact, it's a very important time of the season for your lawn. First off, fall is the most important time to fertilize your lawn. We recommend Warren's Best Lawn Fertilizer. It's specially formulated for Black Hills soils. Fall is also a great time to get control of those lawn weeds with the right lawn herbicide that you need for fall weed control. Or you can call Warren Chemical for custom application. Give us a call. Warren Chemical and Equipment Company, 342-7644.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Clear skies tonight with lows around 43. Winds out of the south 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies again tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 77. Clear skies tomorrow night. Lows level off around 50. Daytime highs approaching 78 Thursday under clear skies. 72 Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 57.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
Attention sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street, featuring 4 full courts for basketball and volleyball. E3 Sports Complex is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
All right, South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Appreciate our affiliates across the state. Also stream us anywhere on X at Nate Brown Show. If you have the app X, you've got us at Nate Brown Show. Watch the show live. Welcome in. The YouTube channel is live right now, The Nate Brown Show. You'll find us on YouTube. Subscribe. We'd appreciate it. You've got us there, The Nate Brown Show, YouTube. Mike DeCourcy's back on tonight. Getting ready for hoop season, man. Sporting News, longtime columnist, Big Ten Network, Fox Sports, TSN Mike on X. Mike, welcome back. How are you?
I'm well, Nate. How are you?
Good, man. I appreciate your time. Wanted to talk to you about this. I saw you wrote this piece, and I thought, well, I got to get Mike on here. He's always good on this stuff. So here's the scene. Like, for people kind of following it, maybe kind of like periphery, there's these ads that we're seeing in games being played. I've seen them a lot, so people have seen them. The ads saying, hey, college sports need to be saved. We're running out of time. We got to have a new plan here. Governing body, something like, let's save college sports. And this is funded by a donor at Texas Tech and all of that. So there's a story to this. What do you think Cody Campbell, the donor here and the guy running this, is trying to do first?
I think he's trying to even out the market so that the Big Ten and SEC don't have the financial power that they have now. And, of course, financial power equates to political power. And when I say political, I'm not talking about running for Senate or whatever. I'm talking about how to operate things in college athletics. And so they have more power, in a sense, in that they could always say, you know what, you guys, you're making rules that we don't dig, we're out. They could always do that. And I don't think anybody in either league wants to do that. But my fear is, based on the parameters of the SAFE Act, which is which was written basically to the parameters that he's pushing by a trio of senators that announced it last week, which would he's talking about altering what's called the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961, and what that did at the time was basically allow the NBA, NHL, MLB to pool their television rights and sell them nationally. And it didn't cover college sports. And 25 years after that, just about, the NCAA was taken to court by the University of Oklahoma and a supporting position from the University of Georgia, because at that point, and a lot of people will not remember this, but I'm old enough to remember this, there were only 1 or 2 games on a weekend in college football. If you were a fan of Oregon, you didn't get to see the Ducks.
Right.
If you were a fan of SC, maybe you saw them when they played Notre Dame, or a big game against UCLA, maybe. Otherwise, you had to go to the stadium. And there aren't, not everybody who's an SC fan can either do it or get into the stadium because it has 85,000 seats or whatever. There's way more than 85,000 SC fans. So the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Oklahoma, and college sports television was opened up, and we have what we have today, where if you're a fan of just about any major program, you can see almost every one of your team's games. And that's been great for college football fans, for college athletics fans, and it's also been great economically for the schools involved. But it's been more great for Ohio State and Alabama and those programs than it has been for Texas Tech. And I think that's what Cody Campbell is trying to even out.
Do you think there's some validity to, the commercials and the message is, hey, if we don't change the landscape here of college sports, the Olympic sports, they're not going to be there. They're going to be gone. That's the message.
No, that is the sales pitch, Nate. That's to try to rope in Blumenthal and the other two senators, Cory Booker, and to trick them into believing that those sports are imperiled. They're not. They're no more imperiled than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. There were Olympic sports being dropped as a result of Title IX. A lot of wrestling programs, for instance, went away. There were Olympic sports dropped because of COVID. Way more than were dropped in this past offseason as a result of the House settlement and the ability/requirement to pay your athletes $20.5 million out of university athletic department funds. Way more what were taken away because of COVID. And this really all comes down to, in reality, most colleges sponsor as many sports as their people are interested in, engaged in, and they have a chance to be good at. And if they have a long-term history of being bad at a sport, and they have a longer-term history of nobody coming to the games. I mean, I wrote about this when Cincinnati dropped their men's soccer program in the aftermath of COVID. And I believe the number was, first of all, they were really bad at it. And second of all, in the year before we had COVID restrictions and everything, the 2019 season, they had 6,000 people show up for soccer. Not per game, the whole year. So they gave it up, and that's what's going on. They're making some small adjustments in various schools, and will it happen? Will it continue to happen in certain circumstances? Sure. But they're not imperiled in the way he's saying. It's just all a sales pitch to get people who are concerned about that, and rightfully so, on the side of the what they call the SAFE Act.
What's this campaign end goal, Mike? What do you think the end goal? You say he wants to end the NCAA. Why?
Yes, he does. Well, because then they can install an organization of their own choosing, and if they have the Sports Broadcasting Act passed, then they can bring in a collective television agreement, which he insists would bring in more money with no evidence whatsoever, and then they would even it out among all the colleges and universities. I don't know whether there'd be a division between high, major, mid. I don't know how he's planning that. He's not talking about it. That's the other thing. But clearly it would mean that Alabama and Texas Tech would not have a gulf between them. It would be more even, and that's what this is about. He's trying to bring Texas Tech up to, or more likely, bring Alabama down to Texas Tech's level, or meet somewhere in the middle. And this is the market speaking, Nate. The market says the Big Ten and the SEC are a bigger deal. It's not anybody saying that those schools have a right to this. It's the market saying, I'm more interested in Michigan than I am in Arizona football. That's as simple as that. And that's America.
Mike DeCourcy on tonight. Find his work at sportingnews.com. Stories up there right now. Longtime Sporting News writer, part of the Fox Sports team and Big Ten Network college basketball. So you go down the road, you say, if this campaign succeeds and there's a big change and the NCAA's out, that could end college sports. What do you mean?
I meant as we know it. The headline, you can only fit so many words in a headline. But when I say it could end college sports as we know it, I'm talking about basically, right now, if you are in the Big Ten and the SEC, you don't want to be out of the NCAA because the NCAA is March Madness. For the Big Ten, it's the Frozen Four. For more so for the SEC, it's the College World Series. It's the increasingly popular women's volleyball tournament, which is drawing sellout crowds wherever it's going. It's all of those things. But if you make college athletics toward a design that has basically no imprint of those leagues, the most powerful leagues, they can always say, you know what, we're going to do our own thing. That's what I fear. And a lot of people have projected that as the future for years, thinking that they want to do that. They don't want to do that, because part of it is that they want to engage in those championships because they have historical meaning. They've been lucrative, in particular in those sports. And also the other part of it is, like, if you're an Ohio State fan, okay, it's not the same as being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. If you're a Steelers fan, you go 10-7, you've had a pretty good year. If you're an Ohio State fan, you go 8-4, that's like misery. They're not used to that. They're used to going home 10, 11, 12 times a year really happy. And if they went to some Super League concept, that's not going to happen anymore. As good as Ohio State is, there's just too many tough games in a Super League concept. So they don't want any part of that. But if you force them into it, if you say, we're basically taking a lot of the money that you make away and giving it to the Big 12 and the ACC and leagues below them, then I think at that point the SEC and Big 10 would say, no, you're not. We're doing our own thing.
Do you think there is a legitimate argument that the Big 12 schools are way behind Big 10, SEC, and that's a problem for competitive balance?
No, I don't think that's true. I mean, I think that they by and large are not as powerful as the best Big 10 teams, but they are not way behind. And financially, they're significantly behind, but not disastrously behind. They just have to prioritize differently and spend differently. And yeah, maybe like if you're one of the schools in the Big 12 and you get the next Nick Saban on your campus, there's a chance you're going to lose him to whatever SEC or Big 10 job comes open. But I don't think that's crippling. I think you can continue to be competitive, and I think there will be years, whether it's in men's basketball or women's basketball, maybe occasionally in football, where those programs can rise up and challenge the best of the SEC and Big 10.
Mike DeCourcy on tonight, sportingnews.com. Read the story. Interesting story. Really well done. TSN Mike on X. Last one. Do you think, Mike, there will be a separation here of the Super League and then the rest of the teams that are group of five now? I mean, some people think only 40, 60 teams in the Super League that's coming.
No, I think if there's a Super League, it'll be just the SEC and Big Ten, and it will be for the reasons I just described. I think the teams in the Big Ten and SEC understand where they are and how this works for them, and that moving to some Super League doesn't empower them. It might even weaken them economically. And it certainly would, from a competitive standpoint, would make their other sports, as I mentioned before, growing sports like women's volleyball and softball. Baseball has become more popular on a lot of campuses and drawing some significant crowds. And it'll make those sports less interesting and competitive. So I don't think they want anything like that. I think they want a future that's a little bit more defined in terms of how much they pay the athletes. I think they want that. But I don't think they want to break away from the NCAA. I just don't think they want any part of whatever organization it is that Cody Campbell is kicking up down there at Texas Tech. I know they don't want that. They don't want any part of that. The NCAA has been lobbying, and the colleges, as I mentioned in the article, the colleges are the NCAA, and that's the most disingenuous part of Cody Campbell's campaign, is that he's saying the NCAA has always been arguing for all these bad things. And look, I've covered college athletics for 45 years now. The NCAA is the colleges. So it's the colleges have been arguing for everything he doesn't like. And so what I said in the article was, if you want to take the colleges out of it, you can have the Red Raiders of Lubbock and the Blue Devils of Durham and the Yellow Jackets of Atlanta, and you could not have any colleges involved, but I don't think that's really the same.
Good stuff. Great to have him back. Mike DeCourcy, sportingnews.com. The story's up there about Cody Campbell out of Texas Tech, big Texas Tech donor in this campaign for the future of college sports, how he sees it. Mike, good to have you, man. I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Always a pleasure, Nate. Good to talk to you.
Thanks a lot. Mike DeCourcy, longtime Sporting News college sports writer, Big Ten Network, Fox Sports college basketball analyst, TSN Mike on X. Follow him there. SportingNews.com if you want to read that story. It was interesting. So you should have seen some of these commercials if you watch college sports. It's about like, hey, college sports are on the brink of, with all the money and all the NIL and all that stuff, the Olympic sports are at risk. Colleges are just going to fund, footballs and basketballs. We got to change the whole model and the NCAA and the whole thing. We got to change college sports before they go away. Mike DeCourcy just now saying, not so fast. So read that one for yourself. Thought-provoking stuff. Mike DeCourcy on tonight, sportingnews.com. Hey, let's go to, speaking of big changes in college sports, this is perfect. The NCAA looking at going to 76 teams in the tournament. We're at 68 now. Do you want to go to 76 and then have South Dakota State, USD, if they win the Summit League, play in the opening round to get into the tournament? Chris Denker, former D1 college basketball coach, and his son now plays mid-major basketball. They'd be in a conference, too, that would play in the opening round if they made it. Chris Denker, Net Scouts basketball, coming up.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome in, South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, 2 hours, thought-provoking sports talk. If you miss any guests on the show, any segments, go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show's there. We put it up there on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Search The Nate Brown Show. If you want this show, we don't repeat segments or guests, record them and play them back, so we try and give you new stuff each time out live. But if you can't catch us live every day, go to The Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show is there from South Dakota and beyond. Search The Nate Brown Show. Chris Denker's back on tonight, getting ready for basketball season. It's basically here. It's basically here. Former D1 coach, pro basketball scout, netscoutsbasketball.com. Chris, welcome on. How are you?
Good, Nate. It's been a while. Good talking to you.
Here we go, man. I just had somebody text in. It's basketball season again? I mean, I'm like, hey, I'm good with that. It never stops for you. I know that. I got to get your take on this proposal that people are discussing the last week. And there's some legs to it. I don't know if it's going to be put into place, but they're saying for 2026, the NCAA tournament could go from 68 to 76 teams. Now, there's a lot of moving parts here. I'll ask you for your initial reaction. 76 teams, an opening round of 12 instead of the first 4. What's your first reaction?
Well, there's a couple. I have a few. One, I guess it's nice, to include more people. And your initial reaction is, well, maybe more teams would get to experience it. But at the same time, I'm sort of an old school guy in that I like the 64, and I think it's the greatest tournament we have in sports. And it's kind of a shame that, it goes away a little bit that way now if you do it right. But the problem is the NCAA, there's a lot of things they haven't done right with NIL and transfer portal and eligibility and COVID and all the things that they've been dealing with lately. They have not done a very good job. So I don't have a whole lot of faith that they will now. This would ruin it for me. Now, there's threats, I think, and it's really more football, but it would trickle down into basketball where, like, say, the top 100 or your Power Fives would separate, and then you'd end up with 2 different tournaments, kind of like they have in football, FBS, FCS. And that would be a problem, too. But I come at it from a lot of different angles because, see, what I think, and I don't mean to, get into the questions you might ask, but I think it's a problem because I think that the next, and I've even done a little research on this from 2023, 2024, is, who would get in? Well, it's just going to be more of the power conference teams. It's going to be more of the, to actual names. I think last year, teams that were out were like Nebraska, Texas, North Carolina, Wake Forest, SMU, Pitt, Cincinnati, Villanova. Those are the teams that would get in. Well, they're all power conference teams. And they're teams that were, 16 and 15, or teams who didn't make their conference tournament and things like that. So is that really benefiting? And to me, it would be about including more of your mid-majors or more of your teams that have earned their way in, but because the conference they're in, they maybe don't get sort of the old-fashioned RPI points.
They aren't going to do that, Chris. You know that. I mean, they aren't going to let these lower mid-major teams, more teams out of the Big Sky, more teams out of the Summit League. They're not going to do that. And actually, the model that they throw out is the 12 lowest automatic qualifiers. Here's my deal on it. Like the Summit Leagues, the Big Skies, for example, in this region, those automatic qualifiers, they win their conference. They might have, 24 wins. And they would be in the opening round of 12. To me, that doesn't even feel like the tournament, but you tell me.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly right. And I can even speak personally on a number of fronts to that. But number one is my son's team, University of Northern Colorado, won the Big Sky last year and then lost in the tournament to Montana, who was second in the league, so it wasn't an upset loss per se, and they had 25 wins. I mean, those are good teams. South Dakota State has been that way several times in the past. These are good teams that deserve a chance to get in if we're doing it right. But when we're not, then it's a 17-16 Pitt who doesn't even make the ACC tournament, and these types of teams that's a problem. And we shouldn't just get more of those teams into the league. And even if you're going to change the format, which I have some opinions on, but I also come at it from the perspective of Nate. My teams that I coached made the NCAA tournament 5 different times, and we were the first team ever to get an at-large bid out of the WCC, and that was when I was the head coach of Santa Clara. And there's something like we had to beat Texas Tech and Cal and a lot of bigger teams, Maryland, these teams, to get an at-large bid, and we got it, and we earned it, and deserved it, and did well. But at the same time, if you're just going to go when teams like that, like a St. Mary's on the men's side, right? They always play a good schedule. They're always a top-ranked team, even if they don't beat Gonzaga and win the league. Or in the years that they do, well, then that Gonzaga, the same thing could be said. These are really quality teams that deserve to be in the tournament. A couple of years ago, Indiana State won 29 games and didn't get in.
Yeah.
UC Irvine should have been in last year, and then ended up going all the way to the final of the NIT to prove it. So I just think that it's really you're going to end up just putting in more of the wrong teams. And but again, like I say, I think if you're going to do it, if we're talking about, it's done, now what? I think what you do is, because I agree with you, it's not like playing, this is the problem I have with playing games now. It's not like they're in the tournament. Part of being in the tournament is the week up leading up to it, and all the hype and all the talk and the travel and the kids that get exposed to, your fans going to the games and all the teams and all the atmosphere that surrounds these cities. When you go there, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
And it's really an experience. Besides just the game, which that too, these are, hey, you find out Sunday you're going, hope you can make it to Dayton, not an easy place to get to, and play on Tuesday night. Yip-dee. I mean, it ends up being, it's not really the same experience. I think they should change that somehow. Okay, but if you're going to do it, well, I think what should be done is they should take all those last 12, not the 15s and 16s, leave them playing the 1 seeds and the 2 seeds. The 15 plays the 2, the 16 plays the 1. Take all the 12s and 13s, because typically speaking, the last at-larges are 11, maybe 12s. And then the rest are low conference, 1-bid only conference champions out of the MEAC and things like that. Well, take all the 12s and 13s and have them play 12 on 12, 13 on 13 for every bracket.
To get in,
East, and West.
To get
and then
yep.
they go and play the 5, or they go and play the 4. And at least then it's kind of an even field, and you're letting everybody, because again, it's either that or go home, to these Nebraskas of the world. And I hate to pick on them, but they were one of them. North Carolina, Villanova, Pitt, Cincy in the last couple of years. Have them go jump up to Dayton, or they say they're going to have 2 sites now at Dayton and maybe somewhere out in the West. Let's say it's Salt Lake City. Well, have those teams go play there, and it's it's an extension basically of a Power 5 conference tournament is what it is, and have them go play to the right to play a 4 seed or a 5 seed, but don't do that to the 16s and the 15s. I mean, you're only going to take one from their conference, and then you're just going to shove them to the side and say, here, go to Dayton on a Tuesday night when nobody cares. I just really have a problem with it. This is a big story, I'm telling you. People are kind of low-key on it because it's football season and the Summit League. Everybody's going, what's going to happen? It's not set in stone, but they're throwing it around. Opening round at 12, and that could impact the Summit League / Big Sky teams like that in an opening round of 12 almost every year. Chris Denker on tonight, former D1 coach, Santa Clara, NetScoutsBasketball.com. Chris, good to have you, man. Thanks for your time. We'll talk again. Take care, Nate. Thanks a lot. Chris Denker on tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Who's hot and who's not? Coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Don't you just hate it when your kiddos get tired and want to quit trick-or-treating before you've hit all the best houses? You know, the ones that hand out full-size candy bars. This Halloween, fuel your little goblins with hearty sandwiches made on Country Hearth Kids' Choice bread before heading out. Made the old-fashioned way with whole grains and natural sweeteners, Country Hearth breads are a treat the whole family will love. And as any monster will tell you, the best nights start with a great bite. Country Hearth, baked locally and delivered fresh daily.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and all of us at Renewal urge you to get your home tested for radon now. When Renewal's owner offered to pay for radon testing and mitigation if radon was found in our homes, several Renewal by Anderson team members found dangerously high levels of radon in their homes. This colorless, odorless gas is a killer. After smoking, radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer. The EPA estimates that radon causes 21,000 lung cancer deaths each year. Radon may also be linked to breast and other cancers, Parkinson's, dementia. Testing for radon is simple. Home tests cost under $20. Professional testing may be a couple of $100, and if you have radon, it's easy to get rid of with a relatively inexpensive system that blows that radon out of a vent. From all of us at your local Renewal by Anderson, please invest in your family's safety today. Get a radon test today. There could be an invisible killer in your home right now.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Clear skies tonight with lows around 43. Winds out of the south 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies again tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 77. Clear skies tomorrow night. Lows level off around 50. Daytime highs approaching 78 Thursday under clear skies. 72 Friday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 57.
Hey golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, who's hot and who's not? Leaving you with that, as we do every night. Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet, your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. On the Nate Brown Show, who's hot category, let's crown some state champions today. Congrats to the St. Thomas More boys golf team, Class A state champs in golf for St. Thomas More. How about girls tennis? Sioux Falls Christian. Congrats to Sioux Falls Christian winning the State A girls tennis title. Rapid City Christian, second today at the girls state tennis meet. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys, got fined $250,000 today for the middle finger gesture. He said it was inadvertent. He said, quote, the intention was thumbs up. Yeah, I think that was that guy's intention on the road the other night, too. But anyway, sure. Jerry says he's going to appeal it, the fine, $250K for the gesture that was inadvertent from the Cowboys owner. All right. See you tomorrow. The Nate Brown Show in the books. Podcast going up.
Inheritance, romance, and investment scams continue to plague South Dakotans with high dollar amount losses.